Most people spend their lives trying to find their purpose. They try different things, search for answers, and constantly doubt themselves. They envy those who knew from childhood exactly what they wanted to become. And then there's you. You're someone who actually know what you're interested in. Today, you're watching videos about starting a business. Tomorrow, you're learning video editing. A week later, you're reading about investing. Then suddenly, you're seriously thinking about programming, design, or marketing. There's always a new idea appearing in your mind. At first, it feels like an advantage. You're curious, open-minded. You get excited quickly. You're interested in learning new things. But then another feeling starts to appear. You look at your friends and realize they're already becoming specialists. Someone is building a career. Someone is getting promoted. Someone is starting to make good money. And you? You still feel like you're standing at the starting line. You have dozens of unfinished courses, hundreds of saved videos, a folder full of bookmarks you never return to, and a list of ideas that only keeps getting longer. But the worst part isn't even that. It's the feeling that years are passing, yet you're still a beginner at almost everything. And one day, you catch yourself thinking, maybe there's something wrong with me. Stop. That's not true. The problem isn't you. The problem is your strategy. And here's the mistake almost everyone with many interests makes. They try to win a game whose rules were never designed for them. Since childhood, we've been taught the same formula. Choose one direction, go deeper into it, become the best in one field. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't get distracted. And for many people, this system actually works. But when you're interested in too many things, you start feeling like you're constantly losing a game you never wanted to play. You choose one path and promise yourself, this time, I'm finally going to finish what I started. For the first few months, everything goes well. You learn, you improve, you see progress, but then something new catches your attention. It looks more promising, more exciting, more interesting, and the old thing slowly turns into a routine, so you switch. A few months later, the same thing happens again. This is where most people make the wrong conclusion. They think, my problem is that I'm interested in too many things. But that's not the problem. The problem is that you're trying to turn every interest into your life's mission. Every hobby into a business, every skill into a source of income, every passion into a part of your identity. But who decided that everything you enjoy has to become your career? That's exactly what creates chaos. Most people with many interests make the same mistake. They try to dig 10 wells 1 meter deep instead of digging one well deep enough to reach water. So tell me, how many of your 10 wells actually gave you water? I know this feeling too well. I've abandoned courses halfway through. I tried programming, design, marketing, content creation, and dozens of other things. Every time, I thought I had finally found my direction. But a few months later, something new appeared. At some point, I started thinking that the problem was me, but the truth was much simpler. I just didn't understand how to manage my attention. If you're thinking, okay, but what am I supposed to do? Here's the system I wish I had learned much earlier. Separate all of your interests into 3 categories. The first category, your main asset. Not your lifelong passion, not your destiny, not your dream job. A skill that has a high chance of making you money over the next few years. Don't choose based only on emotions. Choose based on reality. Is there demand for this skill? Am I willing to continue even after the initial excitement disappears? If the answer is yes, you've found your foundation. This is where most of your time and energy should go for the next 6 months. The second category, things that make your life better. Sports, music, books, travel, drawing, anything that makes you feel alive. And here's one important rule. Don't try to turn these things into a source of income. The internet constantly tells us, monetize your hobbies. But sometimes, the moment you try to make money from something, you destroy the joy it gave you. Some things are meant to simply be part of your life. The third category, interests for later. Languages, psychology, astronomy, philosophy, game development. Everything you want to explore someday. And here's the important idea. Not now does not mean never. It only means, right now, I have a higher priority. The fastest way to move forward is to do things one after another, not all at once, because trying to build 10 careers at the same time almost always ends the same way. You know a little about everything, but you never become truly great at anything. Learn, build projects, create a portfolio, gain experience, build connections. Develop a skill that can give you financial stability, because money doesn't just buy things. Money buys freedom. The freedom to experiment, the freedom to change direction, the freedom to learn new things without fear about your future. And you know what's interesting? Most people we admire today didn't start as people who could do everything. First, they built one strong skill. They became genuinely good at one thing. Only then did they expand their horizons. And here's the amazing part. When you stop blaming yourself for having many interests, life becomes much easier. You're no longer someone who quits everything. You're someone who builds your life step by step. One powerful skill, a few passions you truly enjoy, and a long list of ideas waiting for the future. Your ideas aren't going anywhere, but your time and energy are limited, and so is the opportunity to build something meaningful. So right now, open your notes app or grab a piece of paper. Create these 3 categories and start building your foundation.